One misplaced voicemail, one interview, and a new friendship that may not be as genuine as it seems. The internet might never fully accept Chrisean's decision to speak her truth. The disarray gave way to the masterpiece. Is peace too late, though? This time, Chrissy appears to be helping Rand. There may be no way to reverse it. She is not just moving on, but also ascending after years of emotional ups and downs with Blueface. Chrissy lays everything out in a shocking new interview that sends social media into a tailspin. After a long and poisonous relationship with Blue, she eventually finds peace. And she opens up about the ongoing battle with Diddy's aunt, Tia. She also alludes to a developing romance with a purported NBA star. However, just when supporters believed they had heard everything, Carlos Saffold made a shocking turn that shocked everyone: the discussion, leaving everyone in disbelief and frantically seeking answers. For Chrissy, it's more than just a fresh chapter is a brand new book. This isn't your usual sit-down with loads of drama, because the visitor avoids questions and gives vague responses. You have never seen a Christian like this, emotionally unbiased, pure, and unspoiled. It was obvious that she wasn't there to play games or to defend anyone's reputation. She arrived with the kind of earnestness, suffering, and real emotional weight. Every trembling lip, every painful pause, and every audacious remark she spoke in a voice full of anguish and rage were all caught on tape. She spoke without hesitancy and had a harsh tongue to reveal the dark secrets that have long been concealed. In the background of her story, to rehash betrayals or to identify individuals. This was more than just the story that carried souls. She started crying in the middle of her remark, not because she was weak, but because years of anguish had suddenly come to the surface. Viewers leaned in rather than out because of the vulnerability. The legal receipts she left behind would cause any attorney to pause and seek out hard evidence. Dates, receipts, screenshots, and timelines that might have a big impact on those who believed their secrets were secure. However, it went beyond merely placing blame. Additionally, Chrisean revealed personal insights that resembled pages from a private notebook as she peeled back the layers of her life. She went into great detail about heartbreak. Information. The pain of being misunderstood, misjudged, and mistreated is more profound than the pain of being abandoned. She talked candidly about how dating someone who loved her in public but hurt her in private caused her to suffer, and how it influenced the woman she is now. She turned around and ended up in her current predicament just as you thought she was. Finished, a fresh romance has its own drama and is already being scrutinized. However, Chrisean appeared more shrewd this time. The storm continues to harm her. However, she now has the umbrella. There was more to the interview than just venting. It was a time of transition and an emotional reckoning. She actually didn't feel embarrassed to face her history. She showed that even in the face of turmoil, progress is achievable by taking full responsibility for her errors. I thought I was watching someone regain their strength via agonizing peace as I listened to her talk. One thing is for sure, regardless of whether you love her or disagree with her decisions, Chrisean is no longer escaping her reality. She is standing in it with strength and stability. Making headlines wasn't the only goal of this interview. Was Christianist, uncensored, unrepentant, and profoundly introspective. Through catastrophic betrayals, public altercations, and emotional outbursts, she guided viewers through the turbulent time of her relationship with Blueface. Chrisean talked about the emotional devastation she experienced, which included gaslighting, toxic love, and being left outside a studio while pregnant. Acknowledging that there was a time she loved him more than she did herself, she revealed drunken phone conversations and online slander. And she wasn't afraid to call Blueface's mother, Carissa, the devil in designer. Deciding to speak up after remaining silent for years, the next leg in the paternity roller coaster was Blueface's voicemail, in which she declared that she would no longer let him be her weakness and voiced her grief and loss. The storyline then changed to include a reserved NBA player. Tom was tall and focused on the here and now. She teased her followers with gifts, cryptic compliments, and sly smiles. Peace is the one in the jersey. Kia, Diddy's aunt, hit back angrily when questioned about her dubious tweet. I wasn't the fleas. They wear the tree of your family, expressing her disapproval of a person she used to admire. Carissa unintentionally went live on Facebook during a crazy time during the break, reprimanding Chrisean while being filmed. She was caught on camera in receipts and screenshots. As it appeared to be coming to an end, Chrisean addressed her strained relationship with Jaden Blueface's other baby mama, reprimanding her for changing partners and forgetting that the same man had harmed them both. I am no longer the girl. Crying outside Blueface's door, Chrisean said, and shut the door firmly. Now that she is a mother, she will never return. She made sure her return was concealed until it wasn't when Chrisean began leveling up covertly, when she revealed to the world her new NBA partner. When followers saw that Jaden appeared to unfollow her almost immediately, the internet trembled. Then the shadow appeared, searing and unrepentant. Chrisean started shooting. He is hers, instead of a rapper who turned into a darker dropout. I now have a real man. The room was quiet by 3 a.m. Blueface's own voicemail, slurred, apologetic, and emotional. Without you, my house feels empty since you were the only person who ever truly supported me. Rock, together, let's raise him, Chrisean stared directly into the camera when the message appeared, heavy but calm, stating he had every opportunity, but he put his pride before his family. That's his cross to bear now. Do you think he doesn't know who I am? Huh? She said with a smile when asked if all this turmoil would cause her new lover to turn away. Like all of us, he watched the zoo and witnessed it all. However, are you aware of what he said? I know your heart better than anyone else. Then she revealed his name, teasing the world. Begins with a J and loses by 30 points yesterday night. Immediately, fans start acting like detectives. However, Chrisean's joy was the true twist, not just Blueface's frantic message or the discovery of a new love. She sounded powerful, calm, and healed. She replied, "You called me the mess for so long. However, I am the message today." The interviewer's unrepentant, lightly alluded to mention of blacklisting rumors marked the next stage in the dodgy play. Chrisean described how some seasoned professionals were upset that she brought her own table instead of asking to sit at theirs. She even disclosed a previously unheard of direct message purportedly from Diddy's Aunt Tia, in which she was informed in 2 words that she was unable to attend an event. Not accepted. It was indeed a shade. I took center stage on her timeline after she attempted to stop me from attending a party. Unfazed, Chrisean said. But when Carissa Blueface's mother called the producers during filming and threatened to sue if her voicemails and DMs were released, things took a turn for the worst. Chrisean gave a hearty laugh. You've been dragging me for the last 2 years. Ma'am, but now that I'm producing receipts, it's a problem. Like a judge, she held up her hand. The case was dropped. Person cannot be sued for speaking the truth. The studio applauded. Then something unexpected happened. During the taping, the interviewer was given a phone by a producer, and the phone showed an Instagram story from a verified account. Previous relationships were alluded to in a mystery note from Chrisean's new man's purported ex-girlfriend, who claimed to have been with him in Cabo, pictures and videos just 2 months prior. In real time, Chrisean watched the movie. She had a stony face. Inquiring as to whether she was caught off guard, she muttered, "Wow, so that's how you move now." She gave a nod. It was painful. I genuinely believed that he was unique. The comment made the internet go crazy, and the hashtags #NBAGate and #NotchChrisIan were trending. I'm not the girl who fights for a man. I'm the woman who lets clowns perform alone. She is a troublemaker, according to some who made fun of her. Others stood up for her, reminding everyone that healing in public is never easy. It appeared that even JT from City Girls was tweeting about the subject. Don't let your mom's family or past partners to cast you in a negative light. The drama was too much for Blueface to handle. Either he removed the rock emoji after posting it next to a clown. Even after 10 minutes, screenshots remain indestructible. Chrisean immediately returned the clap. When the tents are empty, the largest clown invariably talks. Brands started to respond in less than 48 hours. A partnership on cosmetics was put on hold while it was being assessed. In a statement, Diddy's team distanced themselves from the incident. In the interim, Chrisean posted offers from her own company in an attempt to turn her hot moment into stardom. However, as the tension grew, Chrisean's following grew rapidly. Also quickly generated money on YouTube, TikTok, climbing, and Instagram. Just when it seemed that the chronology could go no farther, Summer Walker interrupted the tedium with a 3-slide narrative that caused another commotion. Chrisean received 3 strong Instagram posts from Summer Walker. Slides with an engaging narrative for the audience. A sneak peek of an unreleased song with lyrics that many believed were about Chrisean, followed by a selfie of Summer with the caption, "Don't judge women finding peace after pain. You couldn't survive it. He was deeply in love with me, but I now feel more love for myself." She sounds like she finally woke up. Healing isn't linear. I feel her. Instantly Chris and #Summer. Fans begged for a sit-down as N's popularity grew. In a series of documentaries, anything would link these two. However, Whack 100 Blueface's loyal manager chose to stir things up, just as support was starting to grow. He called when he went live on Clubhouse, Chrisean's conduct, and emotional development. Now she's wailing for pity. His question was sarcastic. He even suggested releasing unreleased Zeus backstage video to undermine her developing story. But the internet refused to accept it. Supporters responded by accusing Whack of maintaining chaos. His sole objective is to protect Blueface's circus. Sukihana then made an unexpected appearance after someone uploaded a montage of Whack ranting in interviews with a comment, "This man needs a hug and a new hobby." A rare introspective tweet that followed an Instagram follow-up read, "Chrisean ain't crazy. She's a moron. Most folks can't handle their own reflection. House, I have also fought for love in the past. I now advocate for peace." Fans were taken aback. The truth is being spat out by Suki. The NBA Boo's ex returned with a slew of purported MHC of purported receipts, screenshots, airline stubs, matching jewelry, and photos to demonstrate their continued involvement. There are other layers, and fans were unconcerned when one tweet from a month ago said, "Women like Chrisean have been villainized for surviving." The tides were shifting, but peace was short. Even T-pages began to question the timing as someone commented, "Sis, you're posting like you won, but he's with her in public. Why now?" They inquired. Why wait until the interview is over? Chrisean, on the other hand, remained silent and allowed her followers speak for her. Behind the scenes, something far larger was simmering in silence as social media was ablaze with reactions to Chrisean Rock's most recent interview, incendiary videos, and trending controversies. Despite the tumultuous and noisy online commotion, it was actually a diversion from a more complex and strategic game that was taking place in the background. While critics criticized her for her erratic conduct and admirers argued over everything she did, Chrissy was already planning her next power move, which might completely alter her public image and remove her from reality TV personality to general acceptance. A questionable blind item began making the rounds on a number of well-known booze websites and blogs about entertainment, generating interest and enthusiasm through a variety of platforms. The post was succinct but impactful. Instead of working With Zeus, a controversial character might be moving to a major streaming service for her own unscripted series. The internet immediately erupted with speculation. Theories abound on Twitter timelines. TikTok producers shared reaction videos, while Instagram fans flooded comment sections with the username Chrisean Rock. She was soon actually fueling the flames herself. She uploaded a photo of herself smugly standing in front of Amazon Studios, but there were no formal announcements, no tags, and no thorough explanations. Just the straightforward yet impactful message: meetings, it's up. However, a single image was sufficient to convey a lot. The fact that this was not another viral ploy soon became apparent. This was a radical shift. The subject changed dramatically. People started to view Chrisean as someone who was changing the course of events, rather than making fun of her erratic conduct on Zeus Network or her tumultuous relationship with Blueface. This woman, who had previously been described as untidy, careless, and erratic, was possibly now employed by a major international streaming company. An admirer's tweet, "She's turning the mess into a masterpiece," precisely captured the new sentiment that was quickly gaining popularity on social media. Others quickly spotted the irony in remarks, like Blueface watching her in 4K level up. Poetry's fairness. The entertainment industry's perception of Christians changed significantly as a result of this apparent agreement with a major platform, particularly one like Amazon. It implied that there was someone with the financial acumen to convert her notoriety into actual opportunities behind the viral headlines and reality TV experiences. Once viewed as defects, her emotional openness, honesty, and rawness were now viewed as marketable traits. This event was so potent since it was more than just a novel undertaking. It represented a potential rebranding and retelling of her own narrative. Chrisean may be writing, producing, and starring in her own story after playing a turbulent supporting part in someone else's fame was no longer the only factor. It was about evolution, control, and using the unrest of the populace as one's own currency. Chrisean is doing more than just surviving the media craze. If this deal is genuine, she's the one driving it. It wasn't merely rumors. It had limbs. She shared a picture of Chrisean standing firmly outside Amazon Studios on Instagram, which fueled the speculations. Meetings were briefly detailed in the caption, "It's up," just enough to make her fans go crazy. No further context. All of a sudden, the conversation shifted from her issues to her transactions and the potential for a new chapter from appearing as a troubled reality star who might be able to sign a large unplanned contract with Prime Video or another platform. Even her detractors had to acknowledge that this was a watershed moment. Online, the tone changed. "She is making a masterpiece out of the mess." One commentator echoed the feelings of people who have watched her transition from viral moments and public outbursts to a woman who might be completely rewriting history. As she advanced in 4K, some remarks ridiculed her notorious ex-boyfriend Blueface. When a poem about poetic justice was posted, it received a lot of likes right away, despite not being confirmed. This possible trade showed Chrisean's development and her capacity for skillful use of the long term. Hollywood is starting to get past the mess and appreciate the appeal, the genuineness, and the compelling narrative if she is indeed collaborating with a significant streaming behemoth. She has, after all, gotten more attention than most, but even fewer have managed to maintain it through highs and lows and every point in between. This moment showed something deeper than anything else. Maybe Chrisean is sick of playing defense. She no longer merely responds to news stories, and the woman is revising them. This was more than just an opportunity to take photos from boardroom meetings with executives dressed in suits to the viral chaos of Zeus Network. It indicated that people might wish to reconsider their preconceived notions about her. Given that, in the midst of the arguments, the tears, Chrisean is making something in spite of the commotion. This time, quietly, boldly, and perhaps even on her own terms. A lot of people responded to Chrisean's most recent chapter online. The takes were everywhere, divided and loud as one might anticipate. Her sad interview and unexpected new romance were perceived by some as a staged makeover, a concerted attempt to change public perception and clean up a troubled past. Others, on the other hand, praised her unapologetic honesty and underlined that owning your past requires true courage. Be honest and resilient in the face of adversity. No matter where people landed, one thing was certain. Chrisean was the center of attention. Comment sections for each hot takes and surprising praise were all over social media. One fan commented, "I don't trust any of them, but I'll watch every episode." "You all don't realize how smart she is." It's the sentiment that sent shockwaves around. The world came next. She has survived hell and is still alive. A generation that has seen her rise, fall, and now perhaps rebuild seems to find resonance in those words alone. But just as things appeared to be getting better for Blueface, the drama train returned to the station, and it was the fault of her mother Teresa. Carissa, who never likes to watch from the sidelines, threw herself into the fray with a wild live stream, her hair wrapped, her voice loud, and accusations flying. Chrisean had taken, she claimed, a timepiece, asserted that NBA players were only interested in her because of their might, and even hinted that they might smoke her. Absent evidence, no bills, a sloppy hue of hatred. Nevertheless, onlookers were powerless to resist. Despite Carissa's assertions, social media once again exploded in praise of the circumstance. The chaos had no effect on Chrisean, at least not in public. She spoke more than any clapback could. And she said nothing in response to Carissa's comments, as if she knew the limelight would eventually fade. To capture the surreal reality TV atmosphere of the era, one user joked, "Carissa wakes up and chooses violence," while another fan called her the greatest monarch of baby mommy society. Chrisean appeared resolved to move on. Whether it was by rebranding or rebirth, not just as a viral celebrity, but also as a woman in charge of her own story. The numbers, views, and flurry of answers demonstrated that individuals were actively participating rather than just watching. Afterwards, the subject shifted to include purportedly leaked texts from Chrisean's NBA partner. "She's crazy, but I kind of like that," he said, according to screenshots that an anonymous user posted. Also, good PR. In just a few minutes, the hashtag The PR Stunt went viral and fans freaked out. "Please don't betray me again." She shared it with me, and ever since then, I've been trending. She deserves better. Chrisean stated at 3:04 a.m. live. "No glam, no filters, just her in a hoodie, raw and direct. It's okay if those texts are true," quietly replied, "but let me clarify. I'm a man's PR tool. My bag may be blocked by a label. For power, a mother may tell lies. However, no one is ever going to break me again." Then she grinned. Take a moment. To yourself. The same morning, a new Instagram page released a 10-second preview, adding, "They want disorder." On a black screen, Chrisean's voice said, "I'm giving them a documentary." Before the screen went black once more, there were fleeting recollections. Hospital stays, arguments backstage, and peaceful moments with her infant. Then Chrisean will soon be born again. Just as the timeline appeared to be coming to a conclusion, Chrissy sent out a final tweet that was only 7 words long and devoid of emoticons or hashtags. "I didn't need him at all. Just peace. Mic drop. 1. We now wonder if Carissa is being sincere, if the NBA star is actually playing her, or if she is simply chasing cloud once more. Whether you believe in Christianity or theater, we are all watching as this coming period develops in real time. Is she starting a new chapter war at last? Is she simply enmeshed in another scheme? Will this supposed documentary expose the true, unadulterated truth? She changed her story to fit her own terms after living off of Zeus.